Thank you so much for joining us here at the Thompson Broadcast Studio at NAB 2022. We are back in person, so good to be able to welcome guests like our very next guest here. He is the Executive Vice President of Strategic and Legal Affairs for Sinclair Broadcast Group, Fritz. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We were just talking about how many NAB conventions you have been to.
This is my 39th NAB convention. My first one was 50 years ago, 1972, in Chicago, Illinois, at McCormick Place, and they all sort of melt together after a while.
But I'm sure in those years you've seen so much development, so much technology and
Absolutely.
innovation.
Started out in, we were doing, big 2-inch videotape, and now there's no videotape. It's all server-based. It's all new standards from analog to digital. It's a big deal.
I remember that, the tape-to-tape editing.
Right. I started out doing film, cutting
Yes.
film, and it was a magnificent change over the years.
And what is Sinclair watching this year?
We're doing a lot of things on 3.0. We are in domestic deployment. We're talking about the broadcast app to merge digital signals in OTT and OTA. We're looking at all sorts of auxiliary capabilities of ATSC 3, from augmented GPS to data casting. So this new standard is so phenomenally facile. It has so many aspects to it that we're just delighted to be involved in all of it.
And do you see it as a win-win for both advertisers and consumers?
Absolutely. Advertisers can now hyper-localize their ads. We can do dynamic ad insertions. We can increase the targeting of their advertising. And for consumers, we now have mobility that we didn't have before. We now have the ability to get 4K. We have now the ability to do other things for broadcasters like data casting, advanced emergency alerting. Instead of just getting a little crawl that says there's a tornado coming, now you can see the evacuation routes. You can see the live Doppler radar in rich media. So there's so many capabilities of ATSC 3.
And Sinclair Broadcast Group, of course, is one of the largest in the country. How do you see the adoption of ATSC 3?
Remarkably successful. Unlike the transition from analog to digital, where the government actually gave broadcasters second channels so we could simulcast for 11 years and then flash cut, this time it's much more difficult. This time it's not mandatory, it's a voluntary standard. We have to do it on a market-by-market basis, and it just takes a lot of time and effort to do this deployment. That said, we've already in 2 years covering 50% of the country. Our company alone has, to this date, 29 markets that we've transitioned and deployed 3.0. By the end of this quarter, we'll be up to 33. And of those markets, we are the 3.0 host in 17 of them. So we are aggressively pushing forward with the deployment.
And how is Thompson Broadcast helping that effort?
Well, we're delighted that Thompson Broadcast is back in the United States by the acquisition of Gates Air. The transmission capabilities of ATSC 3 are fundamental. Not only has Gates Air their 100-year history, now that's going to be part of the Thompson Group, you bring so much understanding of the digital technology from your experience at DVB in Europe and now in ATSC 3 in the United States. We're hoping for new products from Thompson, miniaturizing the transmitters so that we can do single frequency networks. So we're looking for a lot from Thompson.
And it's not just here in the United States either. How are you seeing ATSC 3 expand globally, other countries like India?
Well, there are 4 digital standards in the world. The Japanese have one, the Europeans have one, the Chinese have one, and then the Koreans in the United States have ATSC 3. Ours is an IP-based standard, so we think it has tremendous advantages over the other standards. It's already been obviously adopted in Korea and the United States. We're looking to expand it into Brazil, and we're doing this demonstration to do direct mobile in India. We're in the process of doing a demonstration in Delhi and in Bangalore right now. So we think with direct mobile in India, where there's an underutilization of their broadcast frequencies, that this is ripe for this new type of standard. So we're very excited about that.
And what role does Thomson Broadcast play in that expansion globally as well?
Well, Thomson Broadcast is worldwide known for its capability in transmitters. Obviously, in Europe, we think that bringing the heft of Thomson with 3.0 to new markets like Africa, for example, we think is a burgeoning opportunity for everybody. So we're delighted to see that Thomson's involved in that.
And we are delighted to have you here. So thank you so much for sharing your insight, your expertise. We greatly appreciate it. And thank you all for joining us live here at NAB in the Thomson Broadcast booth. Many more interviews throughout the day.